Hello everyone, this is Navin from Harcourt's Greater Springfield. Today we are here with Ian and Renee from New Look Carpet and Upholstery Cleaning, where we're going to be discussing about carpets, tiles and grouts in our homes and how we can care for them better. So firstly, thank you for having me in your wonderful home. I guess the first question I have is just to let us know a bit more about your business.
Well, we've started actually just coming up on 24 years in the local area and business.
4 years. Yeah.
Yes. So we do carpet cleaning, upholstery cleaning, so both residential properties, occupied and vacated, and upholstery, leather, fabric, dining chairs, tile and grout cleaning, small carpet repairs, odour control, and specialised stain removal reduction.
Yeah, wow. That's a lot of different jobs that you do. Did it start with just carpet and grew into the others, or did
Yes,
you?
it did. I think in the beginning, I was more concerned about why I couldn't get the results that we were hoping to achieve.
Okay.
So it led to a lot of courses.
Yeah, okay.
So, and then in time, you get the experience. So
Yeah.
it's a combination of both. Carpet cleaning or any sort of cleaning, it's got more to do with your knowledge than it does about the machinery.
Okay, so you invest a lot of time in learning about products and carpets as well?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So now that you mentioned that, can you tell me a bit more about the different types of carpets?
All right. The more common types of carpets you get these days are nylons and polypropylenes.
Yeah.
So with wools and polyesters, polyesters obviously becoming a better price point these days, but not as well wearing as some of the other fibers. Yeah. So nylon is one, polyester, polypropylene, and wool. So and then you can have blends of them.
Yeah, okay. Is it common to have blends of them?
It is sometimes. The carpet manufacturers try to get the best of both worlds. It was quite common for them to put polypropylene and wool together. Wool being a good wearing carpet, whereas polypropylenes wear really quickly. So they were trying to get the best of both worlds, whereas polypropylenes don't absorb very much moisture at all. In fact, 0.003% in moisture, whereas wool is up to 30%. So when you get liquid spills on wool, it absorbs a lot more than polypropylene.
Is that something, would you want your carpets to absorb more liquid?
What I have found in the past is like if you have a wool carpet and you spill red wine on it, it does absorb a lot more, mostly because wool is a hollow fibre.
Yeah, okay. So it
Depends on
absorbs
the use of the house. So is it an investment property? Is it your own home? Have you got children? Have you got pets? Are they going to be subjected to lots of spills?
Yeah, okay. So, for example, when you say wool, it absorbs a lot more. Does that mean it's harder to clean?
It can be.
Oh,
yes.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, so you can spill products into wool which will damage it fairly quickly, and it's hard to remove. So sometimes irreversible. So, whereas your polypropylenes, because they're made from oil, they don't accept water-based spills.
Yeah,
and much easier to clean out.
Yeah.
Or clean off, really, because it really just coats the fibre.
Okay. And so in Queensland, are there like more common types of carpets that, or at least I should say in this region?
I would say in this region, your nylons and your polypropylenes are the more common.
Yeah.
With polyesters coming in now.
Yeah, polyester is now a better price point. So unfortunately, polyester doesn't wear as well as even polypropylene or the nylons.
Yeah,
so you get what you pay for.
So let's talk a bit more about the two different carpets that are commonly seen in this region, so the nylons and the polypropylene. Could you give us a run through on which ones to use when, or basically the pros and cons of each one?
Okay, well look, nylon is the type of fibre that you'd want to put in your house when you want that sort of luxurious and nice look to your house. So nylons can be loop pile, cut pile.
Yep.
But more commonly these days they're using solution dyed nylons, which is a slightly better fibre. They are more resistant to staining. They still stain, any nylon does. Whereas look, with your polypropylenes, it's the sort of stuff that you put into more of your rental type properties. I've seen people put them in their own homes. It's a price point again, whereas your nylons are probably around anywhere from 30 to 60% more expensive than the polypropylenes.
Yeah, okay.
So your polypropylenes, because they're made from oil, If you've got young children who love to spill a lot of foodstuffs and on your carpets, well then your polypropylenes will actually hold up better than your nylon when it comes to cleaning them. They're more forgiving in that sense.
So pets and all that probably go for polypropylene as well?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. What is one major misconception when it comes to freshening up our carpets to keep them looking good?
I tend to find that people go to the store and buy those store-bought products where they're Freedom carpet powders or just, Novak and things like that. But they buy these store-bought products and they think, we'll go ahead, we'll sprinkle the powders all over the carpet and we'll vacuum out. Now, the biggest misconception with these things is that people never remove them properly.
Oh, yeah,
so
okay.
they're there, they might make it smell fresher, but I can tell you what happens to powder once you leave it in the carpet, because it's a bit like putting flour and water together. They become really sticky and they just attract dirt faster.
Yeah, mold, I'm guessing.
They rapidly soil the carpets and they feel greasy and oily and sometimes quite damp.
Yeah, so you kind of need specialized equipment to actually remove them out, or you think, or just people have to be more...
I think it's more a matter of they don't tell you enough when you buy these products how to remove them properly. So if your carpet's already wet and you sprinkle a powder onto it, well, then you've just made a glue. So, and you can't vacuum it out. So it takes somebody with hot water extraction equipment to remove that more efficiently.
Yeah, okay. Wow. So if there's any one product that might work, let's say off the shelf, is there anything that you can think of? Or?
Vinegar's harmless.
Vinegar's harmless. Like, I've seen people use, is it bicarb? But I've seen them put it on carpet like snow. It's overkill, and they're trying to fix odor issues, whereas you need specialised products. And I don't normally advocate professionals, but there are certain things that you should leave professionals to do, because you just make it worse in the long run. I've seen people have to replace their carpets, and real estates make them when they're renting because they try to do things on their own.
Okay, so for sellers, when do you think it's necessary for entire carpets to be replaced prior to selling a home?
Would you say if they aesthetically look extremely dirty?
I think there's a value prospect to this.
Yeah.
So when somebody comes into, you're talking about selling a house near here, aren't you? When somebody comes in and looks at a house, you want the carpet to blend in. So there's a cost to that. So I know from previous experience, when I'm walking into a house, and we've bought several over the years, it's always nice when you don't notice the carpet. It should just blend into the background. But sometimes carpet stands out for the wrong reasons. It's stained badly, it smells, so there's strong odours coming from it. It's the wrong colour to start with. Some things, if we had a pink carpet down here, would it actually go with our decor? It's unlikely. So when I say a value prospect is a potential buyer will look at something and they'll want to reduce the price by 10 to 15,000. This carpet doesn't look so. Look, cleaning carpets can be really great value. If you've got a couple of stains that can be removed or reduced significantly, we're talking hundreds of dollars, whereas you don't give yourself or put yourself in that position to have your price bargained down.
Would you recommend for most sellers to get the carpets cleaned, or at least looked at first for a potential clean before talking about replacement?
I would say so.
Definitely have the conversation. If for instance, if they ring me up and if they tell me issues that ring alarm bells that we are not going to be fixed, I would let them know that. Or Ian can have a look at it. Digital world, photos. We can assess fairly quickly if it would respond really well with a clean, or if they've got some issues there that are just, they're not going to look good, and replacement would be the better way.
Better.
We always try to be honest with people. Let them know, you can spend $600, but it's not going to make a difference. So we'd rather be upfront with them, and sometimes we give answers to people that they don't like.
That's always going to be the way, I guess.
I'm not going to tell somebody a carpet clean is going to fix a pet odour, because a carpet clean on its own won't.
It just removes the biological, like oils, and it won't fix the bacterial issues that you've got there.
Yeah, okay.
Sometimes you have to replace the carpet padding or the underlay, and very intrusive treatment in one spot to rectify it. Like urine, like it initially goes on neutral, but even after a couple of days it starts to become quite alkaline. But I know from being at your house, you've got polypropylene carpet. And polypropylene is made from oil. Oil and water don't mix, so if your dog had an accident on the carpet, it actually goes through into the secondary backing and sometimes the underlay, depending on the amount. Now, when we look at cleaning carpets, we clean the face fibre, so we're not even getting to the core of the problem.
Yeah.
So we have ways we can pull carpet up and treat it from underneath. We can also use backing pad extractors where we can flood products into the carpet that will specifically treat urine and then pull them up through from the secondary backing and the underlay.
Yeah.
It's obviously a lot more costly
Yeah.
than just
and at that
carpet
point,
cleaning.
it's the decision whether you're going to spend that amount cleaning versus
It comes back to that value prospect, and we would always say if a carpet's, if it's like 7 or 8 years, and sometimes that's enough for the life of a carpet, and it's needing replacement. So why spend $200 to $300 on a room when the carpet's not even worth that much?
For buyers, what is your advice when checking the carpets, or what should they look out for?
It comes back to see if they stand out for the wrong reasons. Are they stained? And are they the wrong colour for the room as well? It makes a big difference because is there a smell?
Yeah.
And how worn are they?
Yeah. Okay.
So obviously we can clean out the greasy, oily soilings and quite a few of the stains. But if they're really worn, there's nothing we can do when it comes to the physical look of carpets.
Yeah.
And sometimes we'll get there and we'll say, we're going to clean out a lot of soiling from the carpet fibres, but it's not going to change the look of it because they're just so worn. So they're the sort of things you would look for, and then that gives you the bargaining ability.
Is there something where you can feel if you're walking barefoot?
You could feel on it. Like if a carpet feels crunchy, then it's generally either very old or has a lot of residual cleaning solutions in them.
Yeah, okay. What is the first thing someone should do if they spill a glass of red wine on the carpet?
Okay, I do know that generally the best thing to do is to get white paper towel and absorb as much as possible. People tend to grab water and actually just spread it further. So
you shouldn't do that?
No, you want to try and limit the spread. So so white paper towel, tissue paper, toilet paper, anything.
Just absorb as much.
Absorb as much as possible. I also do know that if you have white wine on hand at the same time as you spill red wine, put white wine onto a sponge and clean it with the white wine. Okay, you're cleaning like with like, and you can actually reduce it a fair bit.
What?
But after you've got out
you absorb as much as you can first,
and
then instead of using a cleaning solution, try white wine to dilute it.
Wait, hang on. So why does that work?
Because you're cleaning like with like. Wine is white wine will mix with the red wine, and you can dilute it down and absorb more out of it.
Oh, okay. So it's
because
it's colourless.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Because it's.
But wine's not the secret stain remover to everything.
It's
That's
not.
only red wine.
It's an emergency.
And then it comes into if it's bottled, if it's cast.
Yes.
So if I tip a whole bowl, like a pot of curry, can I use white wine?
No.
We're talking specifically wine with wine, okay? So if you're at a dinner party and somebody spills red wine on a white dress, I would grab white wine and rinse it out with it rather than water. It'll actually work more efficiently.
Wow. Okay. That is really interesting.
Okay. Now, it'll still be sticky at the end, but at least you'll have no colour, not as much colour in there.
But your paper towel is everything. Absorb out as much.
First stage,
and then you're throwing it in the bin, so you're not spreading it.
I tend not to recommend the products that you buy from the stores. A lot of these products are made to be removed. And some of them chemically heat up. Now, if you heat up something and let it cool down, you actually lock the colour in.
Yeah.
So white paper towel first. Use a neutral cleaning solution like wool wash. A couple of drops into a bucket, and then use a car washing sponge. Don't use Chuck's cloths or anything like that because they'll impart their colour onto the carpet.
So a blue Chuck's cloth will give you a blue stain.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
you know what? I kind of have done that before. Yeah.
Okay. So absorb as much as you can. use a neutral cleaning solution to work from the outside in.
And never scrub.
The big thing, because once you deflower a carpet, it's like getting a rose petal, roughing it up.
Yeah, okay.
It'll never go back to its original look. It's physically damaged.
Yeah. So the
Blotting.
machines that you use when you're cleaning the carpets, what are they doing?
They're
not rubbing?
extracting and putting in really hot water. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Well,
Ones have Teflon glides, so they're designed to...
to smoothly
Yeah.
flow
okay.
over the top of the carpet fibre. So it's really the chemistry that's doing the work.
I was just
here.
going to say that it's like so much of chemistry involved in knowing how to get the carpets cleaned, and I guess
And
for the most part, people
essentially
just-
what we're doing is we're putting on a cleaning solution which separates the soil away from the fibre. It's technically called deflocculation. So so it's deflocking the carpet fibre and it's separating the soiling away from the fibre. So, and when we come along and vacuum it with high heat and strong vacuum flow, it gets straight up, it gets sucked up. So, but we're trying to separate the dirt away from the fibre. So, and that's what happens with your store-bought products as well. However, if you don't extract it properly, it just re-adheres back to the fibre, and it can re-adhere a lot harder than if you hadn't used, or so it becomes more difficult to remove it from the fibre after the fact once it's dried out.
Yeah. Wow, that's really useful information, to be honest. Like, we just got 2 new carpets in our new place. We don't have carpeted rooms, but we just bought 2 like fancy looking carpets. And because they're in the living area and our 2 dogs decided that that's where they want to sit, you can imagine.
Yeah, look, the dogs, they secrete a lot of oil from their skin, so the oil gets imparted onto the carpet fibre, and oil attracts dirt faster than the rest of the carpet.
Yeah.
So at night when it cools down, dust settles, and it adheres to the oily sections faster, or not at the same rate, but what actually happens is when you go to vacuum, the part that's got a bit of the oil in it won't release the soiling or the dust, whereas the part that doesn't have any oil releases it with normal vacuuming. And look, maintenance vacuuming, like every couple of days, is actually well worth it because it takes away the grit that causes your carpet to wear and look worn faster.
Yeah, okay. And how about getting them cleaned professionally? How often would you recommend?
Normally recommend no more than 2 years, and I only say that because the staining and the soiling alters the way it's attached to the fibre, so it becomes a little more difficult after 2 years to remove it. It just becomes a little bit more aggressive. We need to use longer time spans, slightly different chemistry to get a good result. And what we do is called restorative cleaning. So we're actually trying to restore it back to its original look. That's what hot water extraction is.
Yeah, 2 years. I thought you would probably have said a couple of months, but
if it looks dirty, like that's at a maximum. But what we do say is once it starts to look dirty, you've been to my place and you've cleaned our carpet. So for that kind of usage, I guess, how often?
That sort of environment, I would say, because 2 dogs, 2 adults, anywhere from 9 to sort of 15 months, depending on how aesthetically it looks. Fortunately, you've got a carpet that is slightly darker, so it doesn't show the soiling.
Yeah, that's right.
And when I say soiling, it just simply means anything foreign to the carpet fibre.
Yeah.
People say dirt, stains. I say soiling.
Yeah.
But then if you've got a household where you've got 2 adults,
kids,
4 children, pets, so it is per household and your lifestyle.
It does come down to the aesthetics of how it looks. So we have customers who get them done every 3 to 4 months.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Or before inspections.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll talk a bit more about tile and grout now, because that's the other service that you offer as well. What is the cleaning routine you recommend for tile and grout for residents as a general maintenance routine?
Generally for us, we're trying to restore it back to its original look. So it's not really a maintenance clean as it is more so a restorative clean. Yeah, so we'll come in, we'll assess, we'll have a look at the grouts, knock on some of the tiles. So, you want to make sure you haven't got loose or drummy tiles in there. So the cleaning process itself will not remove grout that's put in properly, but if grout is loose,
Yep.
and just sitting in there. Yes, some of them come out when we go over it with the machine.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
so first of all, we're inspecting. We're looking for any sort of possibility of making sure that we're not going to damage furniture. So we're using aggressive cleaning solutions, so we've got to be very careful as well.
Yeah, okay.
So essentially what we're doing is we're trying to remove the organic soiling, the greasy oils firstly.
Yep.
Okay, and then after that, if there's still staining in the grouts, we can reverse back to using an acid, and we can actually remove the top layers of the grout and give it that brand new look feeling again. And then we obviously have to re-alkalize it or just re-clean it with an alkaline.
Yep.
Grout should never be left acidic after a clean, so you've got to make sure that it's alkaline. That's its natural state.
Yeah, okay. Is there a cleaning hack to keep grout clean relatively? I'm on TikTok. Not that I spend too much of time on it, but apparently there's a lot of cleaning hacks for grout on TikTok.
There is.
Some of them.
Most of them. Going back to what I said before, you shouldn't leave cement-based grout in an acidic state, because it shortens the lifespan of it, and it causes it to crack and it's not its natural state. A lot of the products or these hacks that people are using are strong acids. They're simply etching the top off of it and revealing a new layer of grout. So, which is great because it does look really nice.
Yeah, that's the thing,
However, the long-term effects, it just means that you may be replacing your grout earlier than you expected to.
Yeah, okay. What's like an average lifespan of grout?
It should be the life of the tile.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess probably the best hack is not to use too much detergent. So when you're metering it out to mop, look at what it says to do, because more is not going to get it cleaner. It has a point.
There is in chemistry, there's what we call a cloud point, and that is concentration versus effectiveness. So some people think you just keep putting in more. What actually happens is when you look at the graph as to the concentration of cleaning solution you're using, as it gets up to around the top of its peak efficiency, when you put more in, it actually becomes less efficient. Mostly because you're not extracting it properly.
Okay.
And then you're mopping that all over your tiles. So you're sort of putting a strong cleaning solution on there, and it stays on there. And then that can, over time, cause rapid resoil, because you've got so much product on your on your tiles, that it's attracting more dirt. So
think of it a bit like a car washing sponge. You're trying to rinse the soap out of it, and after 3 or 4 rinses, it's still in there. So when you put too much product on there, you're not getting it off properly, even with several going overs with cleaning. And then when you leave these residues, they behave like glue. They just attract dirt.
So a cleaning hack would be making sure you're not using excessive amounts of detergent when you're mopping.
Always follow the directions of the cleaning solution you're using.
See, there's something like I don't pay attention to it. I'm like, also.
These formulating chemists have spent years, and they've done dozens or hundreds of experiments with their products to let you know how to use them effectively. And people simply don't read the label and go ahead and use them the way they feel they should.
Yeah, okay. I'm one of those people.
That's all right.
But I'm learning now. I am
learning. It's like 99% of people.
But that would be the hack.
So look, I have seen that there's a lot of people cleaning their grout now, and they tend to be strong acids, which simply just etch the top of the grout off and reveal a new layer for you. So that does one of two things. Obviously, it leaves it in an acidic state, but it lowers the grout as well. So you'll find that next time you have it cleaned, there's more build up in there. So you're lowering the valley.
And that could actually, when you're mopping, then allow water to sit more, which again would add to that rapid resoiling as well.
Wow, that's a lot of science. Like, it's not just like, it's just grout, I'll just scrub it.
Pretty good. Look, people can clean we'll clean grout with a strong acid if we have to, but you've just got to re-alkalize it. So you've got to go back over it with an alkaline cleaning solution too.
Why not clean it with an alkaline solution in the first place?
The proper process is vacuum, alkaline cleaning solution, then acidic, and then alkaline again.
Okay.
So
Just to make sure that you're getting all kind of...
there's two types of soiling that we're trying to get rid of. You have your organic soiling first, which always comes out, or generally come out with alkaline cleaning solutions, and then you have your mineral-based ones, okay, which acids remove.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, but then always follow it up with an alkaline clean.
Yeah, that's just to restore the grout.
Yes.
Okay, so a question. Do grouts ever get stained to the point that they can't be restored to their original color?
Yes. Yeah. Cement-based grouts are porous, and if you spill like red wine or cordial, ink. Yeah, it's a whole concoction of things that will seep down into the grout through osmosis over time.
Yep.
And if you don't get to it straight away, it has hours to dry right into the base of the grout. We're cleaning just the surface. So and even like sometimes we can etch the top off with a strong acid and take off half a millimeter or something like that. But if it's gone down a couple of millimeters, generally the best thing to do is to have it cleaned, then remove the grout and match the grout to the clean colour. There's been several times where I've seen people replace grout to the dirty colour, and we come in and we clean it, and you've got dark coloured grout surrounded by white grout, and there's nothing we can do about that. They say replace the grout again. So to answer your question, yes, sometimes you have to replace the grout. It just gets in too far and we can't remove everything.
Or if you're replacing tiles, so if your house is going on the market and you've got a few cracked tiles, that would definitely, and you've got spare tiles, that would definitely be something to do before you list it, is replace those tiles. And I think also a tile and grout clean before selling a house. I guess you asked when do you decide to do that on carpets? And with your tile and grout, I think it would be the same. If you're looking at sections, especially if you're selling a vacant house, and you can see a square where the rug was, you can see a square where the fridge was, you can see a square where your
big contrasting areas.
Then I think that would be a time to get a tile and grout clean before you list it for sale, because that would be something else that doesn't blend that people will look at.
And draws the attention away from the parts of the house that they should be looking at.
They're seeing it for the wrong reasons. And not the right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Last question, I guess. What about tight access areas? What is the prep required prior to engaging you all to come in? Like, do clients have to move furniture around, or?
Is this for
so for
carpet or tile and grout?
Oh, to tile and grout. So let's say living area, furniture.
Well, I normally ask people if they can move all of the little items. So all of your knickknacks. Little vases, little tables. Move the dining chairs, but leave the table in place. Leave the big furniture in place.
So we'll actually Tetris things around. So we'll look at a room, say something like that, and we'll go, we time it. So we can pull the TV entertainment unit away from the wall, clean in behind that, come over here, clean the kitchen area. By the time we're done with that, the body of the tile's clean, and we can actually put the TV unit back, and then we'll remove the lounge suite and clean the rest of it.
So we just sort of say the little things. As much as you can of the little things is of help.
Okay, so I think we're almost at the end of the discussion. We will touch on a few general questions regarding your services, just for clients who are interested. So, how much time should a client allow for if they were going to engage you for, say, carpet, upholstery, tile and grout?
Carpet cleaning, normally around, if 3 rooms, an hour and a quarter to up to 2 hours, depending on how much we have to do. For a 5-bedroom house, normally around about 2 hours. So sometimes we're there for 4 to 5 hours. It really just depends on how much carpet you have.
Just for carpets?
Just for carpets.
It will depend on how many rooms.
Carpet.
It is kind of a how long is a piece of string sort of question. However, a house like ours, if we've just, with 5 bedrooms of carpet in here, we'd probably do it in an hour and 3/4. Tile and grout, anywhere from 2.5 to 6 hours again.
Just for tile and grout?
Just for tile and grout.
Depending on your square meterage.
How much we have to move, what we're trying to be very careful with as well.
So usually you're definitely trying to clean when clients are not home?
No, they can be home. Tile and grout does have a little bit more safety concerns, so we don't want pets running across while we're working or children. So, but again, that's all discussed prior.
Yeah,
so
okay.
we don't come to the door and this is what we're doing. So there's always discussions prior as to what needs to be done, what needs to be moved.
Pets need to be kept away.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and that's one of the first things. I mean, we're pet owners, so pets are a must for. So the first question we ask someone when we come to their home is, are there any pets inside? Because as we're working, whether it be tile and grout, upholstery or carpets, our hoses come in through the front door or the garage door, but we can't shut the door. So one of the first things is, do you have pets in the house? Yeah. We need to contain them because
let's sequester them and make sure they can't get out.
So it's always something we're mindful of.
And we can do tile and grout cleaning when pets are in a house. Sometimes we just have to move them from room to room. We always want to make sure they're not coming out onto the cleaning product because their skin's actually more sensitive than ours. So the cleaning solution on their paws is never generally very good.
Okay.
As for upholstery, that can take an hour and a half to 3 hours.
So we do one lounge suite in Brookwater that takes me 3.5 hours each time. And there's just no way to do it more efficiently because we want to obviously make sure we're doing a great job. But they just take time.
So would you recommend someone calling you all in to do all three at once, or would you say no, just focus on different bits?
We tend to segregate it. So we're doing a job next week where she's getting the tile and grouts done throughout the whole house and the carpets as well, plus upholstery. So we're going to go in there the first day and do the upholstery and about a third of the tiles. And then that tiled area that we clean on the first day can be used as our staging area. So we can take all of the furniture out. So it's more just logistics.
There's a lot of planning involved, isn't it? Just
carpets and upholstery, or tile and grout and upholstery, wouldn't be too bad together. Depending on the size of it and making sure that we can actually do it within the time frame of a day. But if someone was getting carpets and tile and grout, I would actually suggest, for the ease of logistics, splitting it, because you can put things back on the tiles, but you can't put them back on the carpets straight away. So,
which leads me to, I guess, my next question. So after a carpet clean, how long do the carpets need to be left before they can be?
We normally say they'll take around about 3 to 4 hours to dry, depending on the carpet fibre and the amount of airflow you've got coming through a house. Always recommend that if we take wooden furniture off, you leave it off for 24 hours if it's got a large base. If it's just on legs, we put it back after 3 or 4 hours with just a plastic barrier or alfoil underneath the legs. The reason for that is the carpet feels walk-on dry after, say, 4 hours, but it retains moisture you can't feel for up to 24 hours. And when you get these exotic furniture, the stains can come out of them with a little bit of moisture. So we're trying to avoid that. So for us, what is it? An ounce of prevention is worth a ton of cure. So we're there to say, this is what you shouldn't do for the next 24 hours.
And carpets, while they're first drying, they're easily soiled while they're drying. So, for instance, if the kids come running in with dirty feet and run straight across the carpet, or if the dog comes in with muddy paws,
you've got a slightly damp carpet that's just waiting to
absorb all
mix with the dirt.
So we do say it's best if you can try and stay off it for at least 3 to 4 hours.
And we always recommend that about a day or two after the carpets are clean, that you give them a good vacuum. So
wow, that's a lot of information today. So pretty much at the end of the video, so Ian and Renee, just want to say thank you so much for your time and expertise on carpets, tiles and grouts. Grout, so it's grout, not grouts. I keep saying grouts. Anyway, there's no plural. So I have gained a lot from our conversation today, and I'm sure the viewers have too as well. For those of you watching, New Look Carpet and Upholstery Cleaning have 51 5-star Google reviews. So it definitely says something about their service. And just watching this video and hearing them speak, I think it's quite obvious the amount of information, knowledge and care that they take into their craft. So If you need your floors cleaned, New Look Carpet and Upholstery Cleaning are the best people to do your job. I know it from first-hand experience. I got mine done, and I even told my friends to buy carpets just so they can get cleaned by them. Once again, this is Navin from Harcourt's Greater Springfield, and thank you both.
Very welcome. Thank you for your
watching.
kind words.